beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of WTF, What's the Frequency? The show where we look at how frequency can affect your life, your physicality, how you feel about life, and how it can create opportunities for you that you never even thought would exist or even come to your door in a serendipitous way. And today, I have got the most fantastic, amazing, joyful guest. I've got Dr. Barry Shaw. He is the ambassador of joy. He is the host of the Joy of Living podcast with over 3 million downloads and in the top 2% of podcasts worldwide. And it doesn't stop there. He was a business mogul who made millions through working in a really, really positive way, which he's going to share with us today. And doesn't stop there. He's an author, a public speaker, and one of Oprah's favourite things. So please join me in welcoming Barry Shaw onto the show and feel the vibration of joy rocket through you as you hear this man speak.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, fabulous Vanessa, how can I make the categorical statement that all the thousands, probably tens of thousands of people that will be watching or listening are all good-looking? Because by definition, if they use their smarts to tune into what the frequency, it means they're always looking for and finding the good in life. That's the definition of a good-looking person. Looking for and finding the good in life, of which you are, wonderful Vanessa, the par exemple, to use that French term.
I just love you to bits, Barry Shaw. I mean, you are the ambassador of joy, and just hearing you speak just lifts my vibration every time. So, woo, you know, how exciting. We're high on life, and so should everybody be. But, you know, let's jump right in, because you're such an interesting character, Barry. I've got so many things I want to ask you, and I know that joy is attached to all of them. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, about your journey of business success, because you started really, really young, didn't you?
I am blessed to tell you that the answer is yes. And I'll just preface all this by mentioning, first of all, I'm humbled and honored to be here on Vanessa's program. And this show, as much as you might like Barry Shaw during the show, or even Vanessa, wondrous being that she is, this show is really about you becoming the best you possible. That's why you tuned in. You're using your most valuable asset, your time. So I'm going to share with you two things. One is that we will be discussing, weaving it through whatever we talk about, the three fundamentals of life, because when you work with these three fundamentals, you will become happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? And the three fundamentals of life are, number one, your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, the number two happens. In this case, a good number two. You go mad. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. A simple example, everybody in the world loves to wear a smile, right? Smile is the universal language. Smile is a great acronym that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. So let me go back to a time when I was 8 years of age. Now, for those of you who are watching, you can see that I'm a bit older than 8. Chronologically, I'm 74. Metabolically, I'm 46 because I swim 2 miles a day, which we'll hopefully talk about. My mental acuity is 28 because I work with a lot of 20-year-old people and building internet processes and such. And my SOW in life, SOW stands for sense of wonder. I'm an 8-year-old. So I'm going to bring you back to when I was an 8-year-old, which we all are. Hopefully you have a sense of wonder. You want to keep it between 6 and 9. You don't want to go in double digits because the world is pushing in on you. Just keep that SOW, sense of wonder, around 8. So here I was in my home in a place called Boston, Massachusetts. Now, for those of you listening, because this is all over the world, just do a Google if you don't know where Boston, Massachusetts is. It's a famous place, but not everybody may know. So you look it up. And it's in New England, in the United States of America. And during the winter, especially dark, deep December, it gets dark early. And in December, it's oftentimes cold. I mean, cold. I'll say it in Fahrenheit, it gets down below freezing point. Let's say 28, 30 degrees in Fahrenheit, but just think below freezing, and oftentimes rainy and with snow, what we call slush. And I'm looking out the window, 8 years old, and I'm even hesitating, Vanessa, to say the words, but just to illustrate, I'll use it. And I'm looking out the window, and I said, as an 8-year-old, oh, what a horrible day. Now, my wondrous, amazing aunt, my Auntie Edie, one of my favorite aunts, she was standing right behind me. I didn't know that. And all of a sudden she said, what? Bearshi. That's her nickname for me. Bearshi, what are you talking about? Look out the window. You see the rain, you see the snow covering the earth. That's like a blanket. It keeps everything warm because the rain is going to give you the things that you want in the springtime. All the flowers will come up, and the trees and the leaves and the fruit, and life is so wonderful. Ah! I had no idea what my aunt was talking about, but she said it so wondrously and lovingly and caring that it sunk into me. Now, I will tell everybody I'm a human being, so it took me another decade of working on that view of the world for me to internalize, utilize, and leverage. That was my view of the world.
That's
Imagine
just
growing up
wonderful,
like
isn't
that.
it? To have those older people with such knowledge of joy pass it on to you. But I can remember, my grandmother telling me similar things, and it didn't, it took me 20 years till it sort of started to surface again. So yeah. So tell us about your first business endeavor, because you did that really young, didn't you? And that's based on
Yes.
bad weather, not dissimilar to the UK.
Right. Oh, by the way, you're right. But oftentimes it's cold, wonderful wind, and we have snow. Now, snow is again, you have to go back to a time. It's very hard for most people listening to even think that there was a time before the internet. Or before communication with phones, or before what we're doing right now, the ability to speak worldwide on a platform. And it was a time when I was growing up, 8, 9, 10 years old. Again, I'm mentioning to you. And when it would snow in Boston on a really good storm, we'd have somewhere between 6 and 12 inches of snow, enough to shut down lots of places. And the only way we'd know when we pray, school closure announcements came over
Yay.
the radio, and we'd be listening, and they say this one, this one. They say in Brookline, schools closed for the day. Woo! So you get choices in life, right? You can go back under the covers. You can, I guess, turn on television or do something. For me, it was, oh boy, guess what? Snow, lots of it. I'm going to put on my long underwear and my other pants and put on a sweater and a heavy coat and a hat with air things, because otherwise you get really cold and it hurts, and gloves and special boots, and asked my father, where are the shovels? And he says, you know where they are. Go down to the basement. Went there, got a shovel, and walked out into the snow. I mean, I'm talking pristine, quiet, because no cars and such. And I just started knocking on doors in our neighborhood and telling them, I'm here to shovel your walk or your driveway. And of course, I want money for it. I'm 9, 10 years old. Hello. I
This is
learned so many
amazing.
lessons from being able to do 3 things. Number one, knock on somebody's door. Now, granted, I knew most of the people, or even if I didn't know exactly by name, because they're in a neighborhood. But still, these people own homes, and I'm knocking on their door at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock, and saying, I'm here to do this, and I want to get paid. So I'm able to knock on the door. I'm able to say what I want to do and get paid for it. And here comes the best lesson of all, being able to negotiate, because the householder wants to give me, I want $10, let's say, to shovel the driveway and the walk. And the household says, huh? I'll give you 5. And this is an older person looking at a 10-year-old. And I said, no, I want $10 to do that. He said, well, I'll give you 7. And I said, no. And here's the best part of the word. No, I call it the N word.
Yeah.
The N
And
word. I said,
yeah.
no. I turned around and started walking away. Now, guess what? The householder, he needed
the
this.
takeaway technique. I love it.
Yeah, he said, hey, kid, hey, come on, Barry, come here. Okay, fine. You get $10. So I did it. Wow. Knocking on the door, being able to say no. But now comes the greatest lesson in life. The greatest lesson. First of all, the N word is very important. Greatest lesson is so when I would do that, I would able to do, let's say, 5 jobs, maybe 6 jobs. And it took me hours. I mean, I was tired. I was exhausted. But I would make $40, $50, $60. Hello, for a 10-year-old kid, that's enormous money, especially 60 plus years ago, almost 70. Enormous amount of money. Okay, come on, very happy. Great. Next time it snowed, and which happened, let's say you only got 2 or 3 chances during the year. The next time we had a big snow like that, I said before the snow coming, because forecasts and such, I spoke to a few of my friends, and I was able, out of talking to 7 of them, to have 5 say, okay, I'll work with you. I got the jobs, let's say the $10 job. I would give them $8. All they had to do was do the work. I give them $8 and I made $2. That is called leverage. It's also called everybody wins.
Yeah.
The householder got what he or she wants, clean driveway or walk. My friend got what he wanted. He didn't have to knock on the door. He didn't want to do that, negotiate. And did the work. He got $8. So he could do 4 or 5 jobs.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Now I had 5 people doing 4. I had 20 jobs going on, and I would make $2. And I would make $40 on the jobs. And all I was doing was knocking and negotiating. And I did a couple myself, so I still made my same $50, $60. But it was far easier and fun.
$100 in those days. That's like thousands, isn't it?
And my buddies, my friends, they loved it. The household, I'm telling you, everybody wins. When you have that mindset that what you're doing in business, I'll tell you something my father taught me at the age of 12. I had one of the greatest jobs in the history of the world. So you can look this up. Everybody should do, I guess, a Google search, do wherever you search, and look up Fenway Park, Fenway, Fenway Park. Fenway Park, one of the most famous baseball parks in the United States, if not the world. And it's still existing 100 years later from when it was built.
Isn't this where the Red Sox play?
Yeah, Vanessa.
Vanessa.
She's not even an American, and she knew it right away. Red Sox. I mean, it's the Red Sox. It's baseball. I'm a 12-year-old kid, and I'm selling what they call newspaper scorecards outside the ballpark. I won't go into all the details, it takes too long, but suffice to say, it was an amazing job where I made money. I got to go into the games for free because I'm a kid and they liked, and the Red Sox went to Red Sox then. Okay, but the point is that my father taught me something about this wonderful word called business. Business. He said, Barry, business, how do you spell it? I said, Business, Dad, business. He said, yes. But notice that the U comes before the I. I said, okay. He said, the you, your customers. When you can give value to other people, when you bring benefit, the I will always be taken care of. You don't have to worry about the I if you're taking care of the you.
That's so right.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I used it. And I still use it to this very day. I speak to audiences sometimes as few as 30 high-level executives, sometimes people, 1,000, 1,500 people at a time. And I teach, everybody goes, wow, yeah. The you comes before the I. It's about value. It's about giving. It's about sharing. It's about creating goodness in life. That's what Vanessa does. Hello. This show is called WTF. What the frequency? Or I call it what the fun. But we'll talk about that also.
I wondered what you were going to say then, Barry. I really did.
F you. See, Vanessa knows this. I really want to teach the world to F you. Capital N, capital N. That's how I spell fun. So I use the 4-letter FU word in a different way. I do it for the shock value, and I do it because it's fun. People say, "Oh my gosh, he's going to use the 4-letter FU word!" Ah! And then I say, "Yeah, it's called fun. FU, capital N, capital N." Of course, the purists in the audience will raise their hand and say, "But Barry, sure, fun's only spelled with 3 letters." Not in our world. The world of
No,
Vanessa
not
and
in our
Barry.
world.
Yeah, the world of positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant frequency. Fun is
That's right.
spelled FU, capital N, capital N.
Yeah. And
So
how
you
many
can do
people
that.
have lost that ability to have fun? And I mean, I know that you have been a business mogul as one of your many, many accolades. But, that's the way I used to win my award-winning interiors business. And it was about my clients being delighted. It was about my staff being better paid than anybody else's staff and bonused on the back of jobs that we did really well on. It was about our reputation all the time and being better every single time and everybody being part of that. And I think that that's a really good vibration. And obviously, you know that, and I know that, and success is very much linked to that. So I'm really glad that you've brought all those elements up, because if you're not an entrepreneur that values that, I'm afraid you're not going to succeed, or you'll succeed without joy. So I want to
By the
just
way, I
pivot.
want to shortcut something you said because it's so vital. Again, this show's not about Vanessa. She's so beautiful. Not about Barry Shaw. Okay, he's upbeat. Yeah, that's great. It's about you. You're right. People are afraid. If I'm too kind or too happy or too joyful, oh my gosh, they may not buy from me, do from me. Get rid of fear.
Yeah,
Get rid of fear. Fear doesn't exist in the same place with love, with kindness, with joy. Joy is an amazing acronym that stands for Journey of You.
yeah,
Journey of You. That's you. You are joy. And love. Love stands for living on vibrational energy. Living on the vibrational plane. That's where Vanessa lives. She's the V and she has the E. She has an O in her name and has an L. She be love. Living on vibrational energy. That's why this is WTF. What the frequency? What
and it
the
is. It
fun?
is. Love is the highest frequency of them all. And you can't be in a state of love. You can't be happy. You can't be grateful and be miserable at the same time. And even if you are miserable and you start it through gritted teeth, the practice of it will bring you up. So let's just talk about that for a minute, because you woke up, you were having this amazing life, business mogul, public speaker, everything's going tickety boo, couldn't be better. You've got a beautiful wife, wonderful son. And then one day you wake up and you're paralyzed. What happened, Barry?
What the
Yeah.
frequency? Right.
I
So
mean, it
imagine
happened
in
to
the
me, and
next
I know
minute, we'll
how
do it
terrifying
before the
it is.
break.
So, you know,
Right. So just imagine, if you can, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from the neck down, called a quadriplegic. It was not from an automobile accident. It was not a spinal injury. It was a rare disease, which I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me completely, totally paralyzed. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in hospital, 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. I was 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand made for me by a Zen master, by the way. So I'm a triped, I'm not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. And it's all because of this one word, this animating, fabulous, amazing, powerful word: smile. The ability to see miracles in life every day. And I
yeah.
was completely, totally paralyzed. How do you
And
do that, Barry Shore?
let's just talk about that for a minute, because I was paralyzed from the neck down, and it's terrifying. It's a very, very black place. It's very difficult to get out of the depression attached to that and the misery of it. And something I read about you, which really moved me, Barry, and I'd like you to just share it with our audience, was about when you were paralyzed and you couldn't wipe tears out of your eyes, and how that was the starting point of you actually deciding to change things up in terms of moving from dark to light.
Thank you, first of all, for the opportunity. Wonderful, Vanessa. This particular incident, story, I preface by saying to people, one never knows another's pain. Just, you can try to empathize. It's very important to do so. You never know. So if you can imagine, I'm laying in bed, again, quadriplegic, means nothing on my body moves. I could barely speak above a whisper also. I was truly compromised. So I'm in the bed, lying there in the hospital, several weeks into this. And one of the nurses comes in about 10 o'clock in the evening. And she says, Mr. Shore, would you like to watch a video? Why not? I'm laying in bed on my back, and they arched the bed up so I could see the screen. And I said, yes. I asked what they had. And one of them was, I'm going to laugh when I tell you this, about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. So
wow.
I love history. History is my passion. I'm a very big fan of Abraham Lincoln, everything about him, and the whole process of him being killed. It's very moving. So I'm watching the video, and I'm moved so much that tears well up in my eyes. Now, everybody knows that if you play basketball or ball or you perspire and tears get in your eyes, they're salty and you wipe them away. Hello, that's natural, right? Well, now I have these tears in my eyes and they're salty, and guess what? I can't move my arm, either of them. I can't shake my head and move the tears away. They hurt. I mean, I'm talking, this stuff hurts. It's sitting there, maybe 5-10 seconds. It hurts. So what do? They had made an arrangement where the call button for the nurse, because I can't move my fingers or anything, is on a pillow next to my head. So I could just barely move my head and touch the call button. Well, of course, I move my head and the call button is just not right there. So nothing's happening. So again, I'm in pain. This hurts. So I call out to the nurse, help, help. Again, I can barely speak above a whisper. I'm paralyzed. I can't do anything, and it hurts. So I wait, count. I'm trying to do something, close my eyes. The pain's not going away. The tears are not going away. And I don't know what to do, but I desperately, desperately need help. So I called out in the loudest voice I have, feeling I was in WTF. I was projecting the frequency of help, need, help, nurse, help. And I decided I'm going to count to 10. If not, I'll do it again. I get to number 7, and the nurse is at the door. She says, Mr. Shore, are you okay? No, help. She comes close to me, and she sees the tears in my eyes. So she gets a towel or washcloth and wipes them away. Oh, relief. And she says with an interesting voice, like the following, is that all? That's what you need? As if, well, what's the big deal? One never knows another's pain. I made a decision at that time, like you said, wonderful Vanessa. I began the shift from dark to light, and to feel the vibration of alive, of caring more, of being involved. And I can tell you for a fact that that process enabled me to finally be healthier, happier, and in my mind, wealthier, despite the fact that I couldn't move and wasn't going to move for years more. It didn't matter now.
But it's that point, and it is almost when you get to absolute desperation, isn't it? Absolutely, you just think it can't get any worse. This is absolutely awful. I'm not having it. This is not for me. I want to go back to joy. But we're just going to have to take a break now and just hear from our sponsors just for a couple of minutes. So this seems a brilliant point to sort of, put the conversation on hold. And when we come back, I know you're going to tell us all about how you catapulted yourself from that desperation to the wonderful creature you are today that just vibrates with joy. So stay with us, everybody, because you're going to get some real top tips from Dr. Barry Shaw, the ambassador of joy. We're back. Thank you so much for staying with us. And I'm here with the fabulous Dr. Barry Shaw, the ambassador of joy. And just before the break, he was sharing with us one of his most desperate moments when he became paraplegic, was paralyzed from the neck down, and couldn't wipe tears away from his eyes. And that was the turning point at which he decided to leap, to catapult into joy. So Barry, from that terrible point of desperation, you changed your mindset, but what did you do next? Because you said it would take years. And what did that mindset bring to you in terms of help?
Vanessa and everybody listening, it's such a delight and pleasure to be joy to be here with you. And again, this is not about Barry Shore, nice fellow that he is, or Vanessa, beautiful being that she is. It's about you, YOU, you becoming the best you possible. So if this helps in any way, we are delighted because that's WTF. What the frequency? You are able to modulate your own frequency. Whether it's you're listening to, tuned into a station on the radio, AM or FM, you're able to modulate the frequency to listen to what you need to become the most beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal being that you are. Yes, we're immortal. Life is a great acronym. It stands for living inspirationally for eternity. So the ability, the topic of my latest book, which is titled "Oh Shift," and
I love that.
Yes, and the key is that I've been working with people for more than 42 years, and I can tell you, 97.2% of all the people I work with, Vanessa, somehow drop the F and shift, and the other stuff happens. So you got to be careful with your Fs. It's shift. And it's about the shift in perspective, and it's small. It's just a little bit of a shift into the mindset of love. I love using 4-letter words, by the way, and I do it because they're fun. But now, of course, Vanessa, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, the 4-letter words that we use are love, life, hope, free, gift, pray, play, swim. And of course, we love to teach the world to F you, everybody. So after the show, when you see your family and friends, I want you to point your finger, have a smile on your face, remember what that stands for, and a twinkle in the eye, point your finger and say, F you, everybody. But remember to add right away, capital N, capital N. So where did you get that we're talking about? So I was listening to Vanessa on What the Frequency. He had on this crazy guy, American, and he's talking about teaching the world to F you. Capital N, capital N. And it will trigger the ability for you to engage in conversation and say, well, he's talking about love. He's talking about joy, journey of you. He's talking about being happier, healthier, and wealthier. And this guy was completely paralyzed. Everybody can do this. Everybody. It's a shift in perspective. By the way, if I may be so bold, my book, The Joy of Living, or the Book of Acronyms, or the latest book, Oh Shift, you can get any one of them, absolutely no cost. Just go to barryshore.com/ebook. I'm sure that Vanessa will post it and such like that. barryshore.com/ebook. Choose one of the books. But the important thing is not just getting the book, it's reading the book, it's using it. People are always looking for more information. There's plenty of information in the world. You have everything you need in you. You are the information, right, Vanessa? You have it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in your morphogeneric field, or as people like I call it, the aura, or any other information you need is there. So it's just about plugging in, but you can't plug in unless you're in a state of joy, unless you are
Yeah.
happy, unless
Listen,
you are grateful. So,
she is the folks. She's the channel. She's a cog, a channel of goodness, a child of God. You already have the information. You like inspiration? Yeah, this is great, wonderful. We all know what happens 48 hours later. Okay, now what? We're talking about the T word. You see, WTF, the T really stands for transformation. That's what everybody wants.
yeah.
Wonderful transforming frequency. That's WTF. Wonderful transforming frequency. When you're on that frequency plane of love, living on vibrant energy, you're plugged in, and as Vanessa mentioned, the aura. Woo!
But it's
So
also
it's the
like
shift in
being tuned
perspective.
into nature's orchestra, isn't it? That's how I think about it. You know, people come to me and they're anxious and depressed, and I'm like, yeah, you're not quite tuned in. It's like you've got a badly tuned radio because you're not appreciating all nature's frequencies. And they say, well, what do you mean? And I say, well, if you think about a weed in your patio or, you know, the weeds in your garden, they come up whatever, don't they? And they are totally tuned into nature. Nature's giving them everything they need to succeed, and they're doing it. And if we can tune in, everything that we need, or any information, any opportunity, any serendipity is at our fingertips. But you can't do it from the point of view of misery or victimhood, can you?
No, you can't, because you're not a victim. You're a victor. And as Vanessa says, because she's the V word, she be victor. She said, you're in nature's orchestra. Everybody is in nature's orchestra. You have everything you need. So get one of the books. They're transformational. And that's really what this is about. It's called a shift in perspective. And it's very subtle. It's small. You don't need to say, well, I'm going to be a completely different person tomorrow. Okay, try. That's not the way life works. You want to do a small shift. And guess what will happen? You're just like my Auntie Edie saying, hey, look at the world. Look at all
Yeah.
the beauty. Look at all the things that are happening. Let me share an idea with you. Something happened to me. Now, by the way, people say when they see if you're doing the video, not just the audio, well, it's easy for you to say that, Barry. So you're rich and handsome. Okay, it's true. I'm rich and handsome. It doesn't matter. You can be anything you want. I can't get up from this chair right now. Thank God my arms move and my upper body, but I'm still basically paralyzed from the waist down. Okay. Therefore, what? What the frequency? So let me share with you a wonderful story that Vanessa loves, and other people find it very helpful as well. Um, when I was first brought home, and again, I'm completely paralyzed, and I have a helper that, thank God, has now been with us in the family 15 years since our
Wow.
dad got all the house. Yeah, this is an amazing story. Just a wondrous being. So we call him the captain because he drives me around, takes care of everything. Captain brings me outside in one of the wheelchairs. Again, I can't move. One of my neighbors comes over and says, I heard what happened, and I just want to let you know, I will have you up and out of that chair in a year walking. Now, I love positive people. And he says, well, you know me, his name is Vince. I'm an aquatic therapist, but I'm not just an aquatic therapist. I'm the best aquatic therapist in the United States. Well,
Wow, how
hello.
lucky. We talk about serendipity, don't we, all the time? That the minute you switch into positivity, into hope, into optimism, serendipity rewards you. Sorry to interrupt, but I really wanted to bang that point home to people because just a little bit of lightness and a lot of brightness comes shining into your life, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Vanessa, because by the way, talk about shining light. If you're not watching this, you're missing out on something, because Vanessa is shining light by her very being. I mean, I feel animated just being in the same Zoom room with her, or whatever we call this thing. This is just, it's so wonderful. That's how uplifting she is. And by the way, you said something, and I think you said it, and if you didn't, I'm going to say it. You used the term, you're in nature's orchestra before, and now we're going to say you are in nature's orchard.
Oh,
Everybody is in
I love
nature's
that.
orchard. I thought you said it, but if you didn't, okay, I'm giving you credit. But just
No, I
because,
didn't. That one's all yours, Barry, but I absolutely love it. Nature's orchard, you know,
yes, isn't that wonderful? And
beautiful.
okay, I'm going to go off subject, but I think it's worth it. I happen to love, and I do when I usually preface things. I say today we're going to talk about the N word, and people go, "Oh my gosh, he's going to mention the N word." I can't live it. The N word. The N word is two letters. N-O. No. 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 Interestingly enough, Vanessa, now I think most people know this intellectually, and if you don't, you need to look it up so you think Barry Shore doesn't lie. I think the number is astronomical, but I'm going to use a small number because to me it's still too much. Babies from the age of, let's say, a week or two until they're 4 or 5 hear the word no
Mm.
thousands, thousands, thousands of times in the first 3, 4, 5 years of their life. No, 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 no. Well, what do they begin to internalize and hear? No. So, what I love doing, this is one of my books, is I love the word. But now it's called Nature's Orchestra or Nature's Orchard. So use those two letters for the moment. But here's where it gets really fun. What I did for myself and what I do when I share these, well, I call life-changing secrets with audiences or one-on-one I do executive coaching and such, sometimes 5, 6, 10 major players in an organization. And this creates really interesting upheaval for the good. I say, I want you to take those two letters, N-O, write them on a piece of paper. Everybody knows what N-O is. And now we want to put a W at the end of it. So it's N-O-W. We can talk about that later, but that's not germane now. And put a K at the beginning of the word. Now, how do you pronounce that word? K-N-O-W. No. But it's a completely different no than an N-O. K-N-O-W is, wow, that's a good no, right? I want to
Oh,
know
yeah.
about
Yeah, I want
you.
to know more. Tell
I
me
want to know
more. Yeah, I
more.
want to continue
I
learning.
need to know. Now, here's where it gets really cool. Again, I'm truncating, 30 minutes into a minute or two. K stands for kindness. W stands for wonderment. So you want to surround every N-O in your life with kindness and wisdom and wonderment.